It's sort of late. There might not even be anybody up right now. You know when you've had a big fun day and you're like, oh, I'm so tired and I want to go to sleep, but I'm so happy in a quiet house on the couch. That's where I am currently. Just the dog and I sitting in here. I just went and pulled some barbecue chicken and macaroni and cheese that I'd put in the freezer out of the freezer because I was like, oh, we can eat that tomorrow night for dinner and maybe the next night. So we have had a big weekend in my town of Edenton this weekend. It's been really, really fun. For those of you who don't know, I'm Adrienne. I live in a little town called Edenton, North Carolina. And it is in the northeastern part of North Carolina. And had my second event where subscribers come to Edenton. The first was maybe about 18 months ago, and then this one. And I think the first one we had about 150. This one we had a little over 200. And it was just delightful. Edenton is very hospitable, and that was great. So people came from as far away as Alaska, Wyoming, Wisconsin, Minnesota, California, Canada, obviously Virginia, South Carolina, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, New Hampshire, New York, Connecticut. Where else? Kentucky, Texas, Oregon. Yep, I was trying to think of nobody was from Colorado. That's about the only state I know that was not here. God, the weather didn't spoil things. Even if it had rained, right? That's like life in a nutshell. And it did. It rained all day today. But nobody melted. I changed shirts a couple of times because I couldn't find the freaking raincoat. We have loved your guest at the Inner Banks Inn. Oh, I'm so glad. Well, I just really appreciate everybody in Edenton being so kind. The Inner Banks Inn has housed people, and they have just been thrilled. I had some folks at various, my friends, Cynthia and Flint Harding, they have an Airbnb. Their guest had a wonderful time. My friend Ann Rowe had a couple ladies staying with her. The Sellers family down the street from me has a great Airbnb. And this morning at breakfast, the woman staying in their place was showing and look what they put in the fridge and the candy. And then the Hampton Inn, the Granville Queen, Captain's Quarters. It's just been really nice. Thursday night, we went to the Herringbone for a drink. And then we went to the Oyster Bar for a lovely dinner. And then on Friday, Lori Knapp has cutting up her salon. And then Med Spa, which is Heather's. And we did that. And then the Chamber of Commerce hosted us for dinner Friday night. And it was funny. I think people were like, they used up all the tickets. But before I planned the weekend, I reached out to the Chamber of Commerce and said, hey, I'm thinking about a weekend. I was pondering that weekend, but before I do it, I want to ask you, would it be okay? Could you possibly sell me 200 tickets before I plan? Because if not, I'll come up with something else to do. But it's hard to feed that many people. There's not really great spaces in Edenton for that many people. And the chamber reached back out to me and was like, yes, we would love it. We'll get another tent. And that's just really nice. The year before, we had done the garden tour. And I think, it would be easier to just do this kind of thing in Raleigh, right? Because you could fly in, there's major hotels, big venues. It would be simple. It's hard to get where we live. You're 2 hours from the Raleigh airport, an hour and 20 minutes from the Norfolk airport. There's no Ubers. That doesn't exist here. There's no delivery of pizza late at night. And the reason I do it is because I love Edenton, and I think it's a great place. And if you live in Eastern North Carolina your whole life, like I have, you see small towns that have failed and faltered. And I think Edenton is doing such a great job of promoting tourism and building businesses. And so it's just really a wonderful thing for me to see my town flourish. So when people are down shopping and eating and having a great time and store owners are happy, that makes me happy. I just, anyway, it's really important to me. People make the town. Yeah, and I went in Byram's today. I went in Polka Dot Palm. I went in Downtown Diva. I went in a Still Life. And, everybody has had extra people in their stores just to welcome and be able to serve all the guests. Just really special. The Taylor Theater, Edenton Coffee House. We're going to be at Edenton Coffee House tomorrow for breakfast from 8 to 10. And tonight, my friend Joanna Dunn catered dinner at our house, my house. They're all gone. And then they went to Vinyl Night downtown, which I think they had a ball. I've seen some videos. Yes, Mary Scott Perry Hagler. So she is with Sotheby's, Perry and Company, a real estate company downtown. And she rented the trolley and took people on tours for 2 days. And that's hard. I mean, it's hard to talk that long and be on. And it was a great tour. I went on it today myself. Even my parents were like, we want to go on the tour. I learned some new things I didn't know about Edenton, which is good. You're never too old to learn new tricks. I read that Edenton is rated 4th prettiest city to visit North Carolina. It might be number 1. I don't know what the first 3 are. We met Mary Scott's cousin at Vinyl Night. He was a hoot. Mary Scott's cousin. Huh. I don't know who that is. Anyway, I'm just really thankful for a nice place to live and all the people that have been so welcoming. Because I realize for my Edenton folks that, maybe it's annoying to you that people are here or you can't find a parking space or Vinyl Night's crowded or people are walking around. But at the end of the day, you've just welcomed a ton of largely women, but some men too, who likely know or love someone with a disability, and lots of moms who left children with disabilities at home just to get a little time on their own. Tonight, one friend who doesn't have a child with a disability, but she's a single mom cancer survivor, and she said, maybe I could come. Could I buy a ticket? And I was like, no, you can't buy a ticket, but you can get your fanny here and come on and have dinner with us, because people become friends, People become friends. And maybe for some people, one of my followers tonight was walking down to my house, and she said on the way, somebody stopped her, a neighbor of mine, down a couple blocks, said to her, hello. And she said, oh, hello, I'm walking down to Adrian's house. And the woman said to her, well, I just don't know how anybody does that. I just don't get it at all. And, you don't have to get it. There's always going to be somebody that wants to not get it or tear you down or not support you. And you know what? And this woman is telling me this, and she's crying. And she said, well, I didn't say anything. And then she said, well, don't believe everything you hear. Not everything's like you think it is. And she was like, it made me so upset. And I said, water off a duck's back. There are people that want to tear you down. But 99% of people want to build you up. So you you just swipe off the ones that are bratty and you embrace the ones that are welcoming, which is what I think the experience has been here in Edenton. I mean, I loved going in Byram's today. I took lunches in to several of the stores that have been so like, oh my gosh, we've been so busy, because I recognize the work they're doing. Yeah, so you might think, boy, it's weird, or I don't know why they do that, but like, I'm really thankful for my group. And it's been such a great thing for me. And I mean, if you'd seen even my parents, my mom and dad, who they didn't like choose this blog life, and my dad sat tonight and talked to a mother for about 25 minutes. And her son died of a brain tumor last spring. He had had it his whole life. And she and my dad were sitting there talking about all the places they had taken their son with this cancer, places that my brother had been. And it's like, wow, if you think that that's weird or strange, then you ought to walk in the shoes of somebody who's lost their son to brain cancer, like my brother or this woman, and wrote my daughter this really nice note about how her son called her daughter Sissy and gave Blair a little present. Blair has already written her a thank you note, has it inside. She's like, Mom, will you take this thank you note in the morning? And, that's what this weekend is about. This weekend is about connections for people that really feel alone, or maybe they're grieving, or maybe they just have never had a place where they fit. And some people can live their whole lives and they've got that. Maybe they've had this whole existence and everything is easy. And my existence has not been hard. But I guess when I ended up with an Amos, I realized, like, I'm really alone. And I think some people choose to be alone and some people don't. And I haven't. Your parents are beautiful. I hung out with them. Lost my wonderful stepdad in August. God places people in special places. Did you have fun?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
What was your favorite part?
Just individual conversations.
Yeah.
What about you?
Oh, I loved it. I got to talk to some people I really enjoyed.
Yeah, I did too.
Our work is hard. Yes, Phyllis. I met people this weekend when I'm certain I was to cross paths with. Yeah. Love me some Amos. Amos was not here, but he'll be home tomorrow. Boy, I sure miss him. It's so quiet. He's at the beach. That was a little too much activity for Amos this weekend. Blair wrote a thank you note. Blair's already written a thank you note in there.
Oh, yeah, she wants to deliver that.
And she was so tickled with the note that the woman wrote her.
Yeah.
And I was saying how much my dad really enjoyed. My parents don't talk a lot about my brother when he was sick, and Dad talked to the mom for a long time.
Yeah, I was sitting with him while he did.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
That's just really special. So it might seem weird to y'all, or, ew, why does she do that? But like, holy cow, it touches my heart. And I definitely feel like it's part of my tapestry that's being woven, that is supposed to be woven. You think God has a good plan for me, and I don't know what it is, but I feel like this is part of it. So anyway, it's been a great weekend, and it's not over yet. We have breakfast tomorrow, and then that's it. But yeah, come on. It's fun. Oh, I'm going to put my subscriber thing up too. Oh, well, I got to go look. It really has been fun. You didn't go on Mary Scott's trolley tour, Thomas. It was really good.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was so. I mean, she just was like pointed out interesting things, and I mean, it was.
Well, I bet it's great.
I learned some new stuff.
Yeah.
Like, did you know the water is brown because of the trees, the talon from the trees? There's so many trees like in the water that makes it brown.
That's not the only factor.
Oh. Did you also know this, that you know what, how year your parents' house was built?
Yeah. I mean, it's so painful.
No, guess what year it was today? 1748. They said, your father-in-law told me there was new research, and now they believe that this house was built in 1748.
They need to take that toward next year.
I mean, they just loved your mom and dad. Like that, I bet people would tell you that was their favorite part.
Really?
Yeah, they just had a ball out there. So fun. So fun. You're going to come to my next one. Well, you better become a subscriber because it's only open to them. Shoot, I don't think if I had more than 200 people turn out, Eaton might not make it. Or forgive me. I have enough, just enough fussy Nellies to cause a problem. It was really fun. And just thank y'all. And everybody in Eatonton that was so kind and nice and helpful. I just can't tell you how much I appreciate it because it makes me feel good when my people feel like they are loved and welcomed. And a lot of these people that went to all this trouble to come from Portland, Oregon, or Seattle, or even Morehead City, a lot of them need some love. So thank you for welcoming them and embracing them because I think that's really what we're called to do on this earth.